So you might find it a bit strange, the fact that, I post a lot of music and things about my son on Facebook, if you're on Facebook watching this. And then I post this shit about the Bible, about my perspective, my opinion on that, and on Jesus Christ, because I was raised in a Christian household. As I've moved along through life, I found that it's not as simple as, you believe Jesus died on a cross and you get to go to heaven when you die, and that's it. And I think that there's truth in the Bible, in the same way you can find truth in this tree up here, or in this brain right here that you have too. And you can find truth in every moment in your life. It's about perspective. It's about your vantage point and how you're viewing a situation, and what you choose to learn from it, what you choose to get from your experience here. So if you're a Christian and you haven't watched my video on contradictions, go back and watch that one. I would say numero uno, and then numero dos. Just think about this. If we have the proper translations, even though it's all copies of copies at this point, 2,000 years later, right? And never mind that. Think about the fact that it's been 2,000 years. If you're a Christian, you believe that God sent his son for 33 years, once upon a time, 2,000 years ago, to an area of the world where, they couldn't necessarily read and write as well. You could have sent him to China, where they were already doing that shit, but he sent him to Jerusalem and had him for only a few years. There's kind of documented, evidence of, what he might have done and where he might have been and what he might have said. And most of his important shit is spoken in parables or metaphor or analogy or allegory or riddles. The guy spoke in riddles, and this is what you, if you're a Christian, believe to be your be-all end-all instruction manual for your soul and your way to get into heaven and not suffer eternally in hell forever, right? After you die. And you've been told that because they like telling you that. They like to it keeps you in line. It keeps you in check to let you think that you're going to be tortured and screaming in agonizing pain if you don't do what they tell you to do. So think about the fact that Jesus spoke in riddles. That's a given, and he spoke the parable of the wheat and the tares and the sheep and the goats, or whatever the fuck. The point is if we're gonna pay attention to the riddles, to the parables, pay attention to the fact that he also said the kingdom of heaven is within you, right? You go to church and they tell you to put Jesus on a pedestal. Jesus said the things he did, you could do too, and greater still. He esteemed you as higher than himself. Again, I say it all the time when I make a video like this. Philippians, let this mind be in you that was in Jesus Christ, who being made in the form of God, thought it not robbery to be equal with God. It's telling you to consider yourself equal with God, not below him or her or it, not below God, not above God, equal with God. How often do you sit around and think of yourself as equal with God if you believe in God? Do you do that? Ever? Have you ever done that? Do you know that the Bible tells you to? Like I said, Jesus said you're greater than him. He said the kingdom of heaven, it's not going to come with looking at. He said any man who says the Son of Man's over there, or look in the sky over there, they don't know what they're saying. He said the kingdom of heaven is within you. If you're a Christian, if you believe in this shit, think about that. And for a few weeks, a few months, as an experiment, believe in that.